Okay, now for one of the final show-offs before I go on to some more details in regards to the character himself, I would like to show you the Wrecking Crew, which are yet again one of the most famous enemies of Thor in the comics and in the cartoon series as well. Now, I will emphasize the fact that this is only the 3 members of the 4-member group. Unfortunately, they were not making the 4th one, the Bulldozer, just yet, due to the fact that he was supposed to come out, but they postponed it for some reason, so we may yet have to see him. Now, these 3 guys, they came from the Marvel Legends Return of Marvel Legends by Hasbro, and as you can tell, they practically use the same body type for all 3 of them. I have the Leader, and Pile Driver and Thunderbolt, which are these 2 guys right here. Each of them came with their signature weapons, which I honestly don't like to display because they were not made very well as far as I'm concerned. These 2 fellows, they came with huge chain balls, which were actually not even made using the real chains or anything. They're just plastic, so they look ridiculous. They cannot even swing them or do anything with them. So I'm considering to do something about it by maybe making custom ones, trying my hand in the customs for the first time, but I'm hoping to fix that problem. And this fellow here, he actually came with a crowbar, but the thing is, yet again, it's too bendable and easily breaks, I would say. Mine is not broken, I just don't like to put it on him. I will try and make a different piece myself if I can. But nonetheless, these guys were very well done, and I don't mind at all that they actually use the same body type. It doesn't really matter, because they look amazing, and they look menacing the way they should. And if Hasbro would do me a personal favor to just finally make the Bulldozer so I can just complete this crew, that would be amazing, because then I would finally say, and most of you would probably look forward to the same thing, that we can just complete the bad guys at least. I will put one of the classic Thors beside these guys just for the comparison's sake, so that you guys can see, and I would probably choose the Marvel Legends Toy Biz Thor, the very first one. From Toy Biz, I mean, in regards to Marvel Legends at least. He was the first in Marvel Legends series, the first impression of Thor. So I think this one would fit nicely with him, more than others. So you can tell that he would be roughly the same height and size as them. But nonetheless, I'm expecting Bulldozer, the last member of the crew, to be much bigger in size, because he's supposed to be roughly the same size as Juggernaut from X-Men. And he sort of resembles Juggernaut in many ways, having a helmet and very bulky appearance and menacing appearance altogether. But nonetheless, I would like to, this is all the figures I have at the moment. In one of my previous videos, if you have a chance to take a look at it, I did a review of Marvel Hero Titans Thor, which is about 11 inches tall. He's rotocast, and I still find it to be a nice figure, so I didn't pass the opportunity to get that one, and I did. And in another video, you can also check out my Marvel Icon Store, which came out long ago during the Toy Biz era. And that Thor is practically in his classic outfit, just like this one, but much bigger in size, so about 12 inches tall and very heavy. And I'll make a correction, I just remembered. That large Thor, the Marvel Icons one, did not come from Toy Biz, it actually came from Hasbro. Because it was the Toy Biz who started that line, and since they didn't finish it, Hasbro picked up the idea and they continued for a few more waves and they released Thor. So that's the slight error on my part, I apologize for that. But I would like to use this opportunity to also give you just a slightly deeper insight into Thor. At least if you're into it and if you want to start your own collection of Thor action figures and related characters like I did, I would like to point out to you that there is 2 figures I would probably say are most valuable, in the sense of if you have a chance to actually get a hold of them, and they might cost a pretty penny, or if you're lucky to find them cheap, even better. I would probably say, due to my own personal research, that these 2 guys are the most valuable price-wise. Not just in the time when they were released, but also today they seem to be valuable. Either loose or actually when they're packaged they would be worth even more money. The Destroyer, who came in wave 15 of Marvel Legends Toy Biz, as a chase figure, mind you, not as a regular one. And this one came in the exclusive wave of Giant Man Marvel Legends, where you get a Build-A-Figure of Giant Man. He was one of the several figures that were released in that wave, and he was very hard to get, and I believe today, according to the things I've seen on the internet, he's still very difficult to find, and carries a hefty price tag from what I've seen. If you ever have a chance to find either of them at a cheap price, you should use that chance and just grab them, because they will become more and more scarce as the time goes, and I'm sure their value will still rise as the years go by. Now, I would like to also mention what I would like to see when it comes to Thor related characters, and I would hope that Hasbro would really make an effort to make these guys, because I find it shameful that during the first movie of Thor, we have never really seen any 6-inch figures, none. Based on comic book versions of Thor and his characters, we have seen none. Not to mention that we didn't see any 6-inch figures of Thor and his allies and enemies based on the movie either. I'm not really sure what's the logic there. We saw a lot of 3.75 inches figures based on the movie, and most of you know them under the name of Marvel Universe figures, which I honestly don't like because they're just shrunken versions of Marvel Legends and they look terrible. I'm not a fan of that. I will emphasize that right now. I'm not a fan of Marvel Universe, but to each his own. Everybody has their own preference. I prefer 6-inch and larger, so that's why I stick with that. Or if it's 5-inch, that's the lowest I will go when it comes to size of the figures. So due to the fact that there wasn't any 6-inch in the first movie, and mind you, there was none in the Thor Part 2 6-inch either figures made, I find that very discouraging and very annoying, because he, as far as I know, yet again due to the research I did on the character, he's a very known character in Marvel Comics and in the Marvel Universe. Then why not give him proper treatment? We have never seen in the past Odin being made in Marvel Legends. We have never seen the Warriors 3, which are closest friends and allies of Thor in Asgard. We have never seen Lady Sif being made in Marvel Legends. We have never seen Surtur, the demon who fights Odin and Thor. We have never seen any of these, and I'm not really sure why. Most of the time we see Thor when he was made in any form at all, and Loki a few times, but other than that, honestly, there is nothing out there. And I'm not really sure that I understand the logic. The movie should have emphasized the fact that he's very popular and should have made more. Now this is my wish list and what I would personally like to see happen. I know that there is a Build-A-Figure of Odin coming by Hasbro next year, due to the fact that the Avengers Part 2 movie is coming to the theater, so in relation to that they will release Build-A-Figure of Odin, and that particular way will also have the latest version of Thor in 6-inch in his latest costume in the comics. But there is a variant to that Build-A-Figure. There is a Odin there, yes, but the chase version of that Build-A-Figure will be Thor as the main leader of Asgard. He will have an eye patch, blonde hair, and one whole armored arm, compared to his father who doesn't have an armored arm. So nonetheless, I'm very much looking forward to those, but I would still love to see characters such as the Warriors 3, not based on the movie because I honestly don't like their appearance in the movie. I would like to see them the way they look in the comics and have them released in 6-inch. Have the Lady Sif released, have the Enchantress and the Executioner released in 6-inch, because we really need all of these guys. They're a very important part of the whole lore of Thor and his stories, and I would love to see them, because there is still no inkling of an idea or even a hope that they're coming, but I'm hoping that maybe next year or the year after we will see them finally. Because Odin, that's a good start, but it's not enough. There's still many more characters out there that will be worthy of being released. Now I will also mention, if any of you want to army build certain characters for Thor, there is a beautiful figure released by Hasbro that was part of the Marvel Universe, and it was 12-inch and it was called Gigantic Battles. and they released Frost Giant based on the comics, and he looks amazing. I unfortunately do not have one at this time yet, and I'm still looking for it here in Canada. Unfortunately, where I live, we have never seen the Frost Giant being released in the major retail here, not even in the comic book stores, strangely enough. But it was released in the States, and it's 12-inch tall, comes with a removable horned helmet, and comes with an enormous axe that the giant is wielding. And if you can get a bunch of these Frost Giants and put Loki as the leader, you will have one incredible display, and even better if you're a diorama person, then you could even build one. That's one figure I would recommend highly for your army building purposes, and Thor would have quite a task to defeat these giants because, like I said, they're huge, they look amazing, the sculpting is top-notch. The only thing I find bad about that figure is the fact that Hasbro never made an effort to make it worldwide available. In some countries I know it was available, such as Philippines, but in Canada, for God knows what reason, maybe it has something to do with the Hasbro Canada, we have never seen it, and I would love to see that figure reissued for all of us out there who don't have it or who are still desperately looking for one. Please release it again, because you would find lots of customers and a lot of fans being willing to get these guys because they look amazing and they would be absolutely unbelievable in any display such as this one, if you could only get a bunch of those. So anyway, that's all. I would like to bring this discussion to a close. Please ask me any questions if you have. I would be more than willing to answer. I have been collecting for a very long time, for many years, and I always further my knowledge. And please feel free to correct me if I gave anything that may be a wrong piece of information. Maybe you have better sources than I do. I am always open to questions and suggestions, and by all means, if you have any requests that you would like me to review particular figure from Marvel Legends that I may have, I will be more than willing to do that. So please stick around, subscribe if you like what you see, and I am planning, as this is an ongoing project, to review more figures as the time goes on of every Marvel Legend out there that I have. Ninja Turtles, which I have several different varieties of that, and the Masters of the Universe, and the DC Direct, which all of them in reality are my favorite toy lines that I've been exploring and studying and trying to get to know more about the details of them. So that is all for now. Thanks for watching, and please keep in touch. We'll see you again next time.